What distinguishes us between the 9 other junior boarding schools, I think physically and most obviously, is that we have our own mountain. Indian Mountain, the school is named after the mountain that is right here on our campus, 650 plus acres. I think that that's really unique, particularly for kids that are coming from big metropolitan areas globally that have spent their whole life in cities, congested cities that are full of vibrant life, but they have not had a lot of exposure to the outdoors. We are able to give them that on our own mountain, which is full of ropes courses and mountain biking trails and ski hills and ponds to fish in and hiking trails. And so I think, again, this day and age, as technology becomes more and more a part of these kids' lives, it's wonderful to have the natural setting that we do. So that's the obvious physical differentiator. And I think that personally, what draws people like me back here, I think my own story about my family speaks to it, is the community. And kids are happy here. It's a safe place to take risks, to grow intellectually, emotionally, physically, athletically, musically, in a safe, nurturing environment. 2024, we hold on to childhood a little longer. We're able to do that, and I think that's really important. That's what draws me, and I think what draws a lot of other people to Indian Mountain. And I think that it goes hand in hand with our matriculation. That list is available on the website. It's a wonderful list of the top of the past average of the last 5 years. Places like Choate, Westminster, Deerfield, Andover, Exeter, Groton, Hotchkiss, Taft, and also places like Millbrook, Berkshire, and Salisbury. My point in mentioning that is we have rigor. We have a rigorous academic program that allows our students to matriculate to schools like that. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to, right? We are a pre-prep school. We are preparing kids for the prep school experience. Certainly, we're doing that socially and emotionally and athletically and artistically, but most importantly, we're doing it academically. So the fact that we have an AP computer science program, I think is remarkable. Obviously, that's open to just 9th graders, but they can get college credit through an Indian Mountain School course, which is pretty, again, phenomenal. One of our sort of feature signature programs is our 9th grade STGs, based on the UN's 18 sustainability goals. I think it just really creates global citizens solving real world problems. And so what that entails, 9th graders are going to spend the whole second half of the year cross-curricularly, and I think this is important for working in life. Science class, history class, and English class being sort of combined. They're on a team, which is really important skill, and they're developing a real-world problem to solve based on the UN's sustainability goals. And when I say sustainability, I don't just mean environmentally. Certainly that is, we had a group that proposed a net zero classroom on our campus, and we just so happened to find a donor and a builder, and it's here, and it's called the OWL, the Outdoor Working Lab. And the notion behind that is, again, net zero, but also creating a classroom on our mountain. Now, that doesn't always happen. I think a group last year, I won't pretend to understand what they were doing, but, building habitats in third world countries out of recycled plastics, that kind of thing. And then there's a proposal that these kids make in front of a board of professionals. I would say artistically, sort of musically, the fact that we are able to find private music lessons for any instrument, you name it, we've got it, because up here in Litchfield County, Southern Berkshire County, not that far from Boston, New York, there are a lot of artists. Those kids that are coming in as top level musicians, we're able to give them the exposure and the practice they need in ensemble and orchestra and whatnot that perhaps they can't get at other places. So those are just some of the signature courses and things that we're able to do here academically and artistically. I think a lot of schools that were venturing out beyond their classroom into the greater world to implement some of this global citizenship and real world problem solving, were not able to do so with COVID. That sort of put a damper on a lot of those programs. Certainly it did for us, but they're now starting to reemerge. And what's coming out of that is a signature program for us in Montserrat. Montserrat is an island off the coast of South America, Venezuela area in the sort of Southern Caribbean. We've got a partnership with them that is going down there to look at sustainability on the island and beyond. And so we're sending our first group of kids this winter, which is really exciting. It's a program they have to apply for, sort of tailored more towards our 8th and 9th grade older kids. But I think it's just the beginning of us sort of taking what we were doing in that STG program and applying it outside the world in a place like Montserrat. So I look forward to learning and telling you more about that as that unfolds. In terms of performing arts, what we're calling the PAC, we have the MAC, which is the Moorhead Athletic Center, and we'll talk about sports. That's a brand new field house and turf field and squash courts. But we are set to open a PAC, a performing arts center, that is putting the sort of finishing touches on as we speak. A soft opening in November, and then our kids will be using that this spring. So any student new to Indian Mountain next year in the fall of 2025 will have access to a brand new performing arts center, top of the line, sound, digital, and a place to really put on display the amazing artists we have here. Not only performing arts with dance, but orchestra, ensemble, rock band, jazz band, our theater program, which is robust. We have a fall play, a winter musical. Kids are doing that in addition to their co-curricular athletic requirements that we'll talk about next. But I think that that's the highlight that is a distinguishing factor between our peers and Indian Mountain, a brand new performing arts center that is about to open up. And I think that as we talk about these things outside of the academic world, what's most important for us here at Indian Mountain is to create a balance. Academics, athletics, the arts, cultural immersion, community service. We're balancing all those and not putting more emphasis on one than the other, because it's really important to the kids this age to get exposure and experience in all of these things. So certainly athletics has been a highlight of ours with our new our Moorhead Athletic Center, the MAC. So I just told you about the PAC, and we also have the MAC. 4 brand new squash courts, volleyball, basketball courts, a weight room, and then a centennial outdoor turf field. We have an array of offerings: fall, winter, spring, to name a few: soccer, cross country, mountain biking in the fall, hockey, swimming, basketball, squash, skiing in the winter, soccer, baseball, lacrosse, softball, just to name a few in the spring. All those sports, we have varsity level, JV level, and thirds. Varsity is going to be your premier program, your best students, best athletes rather, and they have to try out for that team. You have to make that team, and that's going to compete against a lot of the high school teams at their JV level. Down from that are JV teams that you do not have to try out, but that will swing back and forth. Those kids on the JV team will get some exposure and practice with the varsity programs in hopes that the next year they'll be able to matriculate up to those levels. And then thirds is there are no tryouts, there are no cuts. They're for kids that want to try a sport for the first time. So our academics are able to play to everybody's strengths and provide challenges where they need to be, and provide support in other areas. Athletics is a certain big part of what we do here at Indian Mountain.